Hello everybody and welcome along to League of Europe Season 7. This is a pre-season race and we head to Austin, Texas for the United States Grand Prix. Now as you can tell we have no Tinkan tonight as he is off to watch the football I believe, so he will be back next week. So you got myself filling in for him just for this week. I'll be back in Division 3 next week, don't you worry. But joining me joining Division 4 as per usual, we got Nolan. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good, thanks. We're sat now. We can sit very happily knowing that at this current moment in time, Tinkan is crying his eyes out because Man United have actually beaten Aston Villa 1-0. So at least he's getting what he deserves for missing this race.
Yeah, indeed. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of football anyway. So this is a race where people have a nice warm-up ready for the season ahead starting next week in Imola. We only have 13 drivers, but I'm sure there's going to be some action nonetheless. So the only difference is tonight for this race is we've got no safety car and the weather is going to be clear. Everything else is going to be exactly the same as a usual League of Europe lobby. It's just we just want to make it fair. And we don't want to see any safety cars in this lobby because there's still some drivers that the organisers don't know their pace yet, or they want to see if they actually been put in the right division. So that is why this pre-season race is being put on as well. Some familiar names as well, including last season's Division 5 champion of Lars. So it'll be interesting to see how he does in the higher tier. Some people have also moved down from Division 3 last season, and we also got a few promotees from Division 5 joining Lars too. And we've got some people that have stayed put in Division 4, like the likes of Slayer and Con, for example. And obviously we've got some new faces that have never raced in League of Europe before. So it'll be interesting to see how well they do. But what could you expect from this track tonight?
This race is going to be an interesting one, especially in qualifying. Obviously, we know the main aim of pre-season. It isn't entirely who wins the race. The result, of course, it always matters. You want to do well, but the result isn't what we're looking at tonight. It's people's pace overall, which is the reason the safety car's turned off, but we've kept damage on. We can kind of see how people are going to race side by side. Hopefully, they can show people that they're clean drivers, and then we base it off the pace to see how well they do, which is a shout to all drivers, really, that if things do go wrong and you do pick up damage, even though there's no safety car, carry on driving so we can still see your pace. It doesn't matter whether you're last. If you're putting in good lap times, then we'll still know where you should be. So I'm expecting, hopefully, actually, because we've got less drivers, maybe a little less chaos on lap 1.
Yes, and usually in a normal race, the top 12 get points anyway. So if you finish, you would get points if it's a normal race as well. So plenty of incentives to give you confidence ready for the season ahead. So we'll go on board with Heated LH as he starts his lap around the circuit of the America circuit. He's in the Red Bull tonight. Please note that these are not the teams they're going to be in for the season. Team allocations haven't been sorted yet in any of the tiers, so it was a first come first served, and he picked the Red Bulls. He goes through the S's section, which I absolutely hate to drive around this circuit, and I'm sure other people do as well. It's very, very technical as you head towards the start of Sector 2, now towards Turn 7, then turns 8, 9, 10, and then to the brink of Turn 11 as well. Clip that left apex as well for good measure. Now you're going to be heading towards the Drs Zone, which I will probably see the most overtaken, and I've seen a few blind moments as well because the sun gets too bright around it. That's the disadvantage of having clear weather, but if it was dynamic, maybe it would have been overcast. We don't know. So he heads towards this next right-hander, which I have to say, it is double right-handers at the moment. Well, he's the first person, one of the first people to set a lap, so he's purple, Sector 2 at the moment. Next right-hander, turn 15 and 16, you treat that as one turn coming up here as well. We've seen a few people go off here in previous seasons at Eloise. Hopefully we don't see that tonight as we head towards the final corners of turn 17 to 19 and towards turn 20, as we've seen a few people having a few moments around the track at the moment as Heated LH crosses across the line, and he's P2 at the moment. Not quite pole position, but very, very close. And it is Steve Day that is on pole, but Jordan just pipped into the post by a 1/10 with a 132.551. I think we could expect maybe 132s, 131s if we're lucky, but I think probably most likely 132s most likely.
Yeah, I think Heated will be He'll be happy with a banker for that lap. There's a few. I think the last sector was very scruffy. He completely missed the apex on the second to last corner, so he knows there's time to find. Good to point out, there are a few people out on the mediums. Energetics, I think you want to completely forget that lap ever existed, but interesting, some people are going out for the mediums first. Some cons on at the moment. He's on a pretty decent lap considering, considering it's a medium lap time. He's looking up for something pretty good, and I think we could maybe see the top end drivers getting to the 31s as Lars, D5 champion, proving that he does belong in D4 as...
Oh, Connor! He was on for a pole lap. He was on for a pole lap, actually a good medium lap, one of the fastest medium runners, but he binned it towards the final corner. But I've raced Lars before in D5 last season, and he is known for qualifying very, very well. He pretty much got pole in almost every race last season, and pretty much won the race by a gazillion years as well in most races. There was a few races where he was unlucky, but he was crowned the champion with a few races to go as well, which just shows how talented he is. But at least he's got his chance in D4 this season. He is only reserved though, but whenever he does get to race, hopefully he could show the pace. And obviously he's here tonight just so the organisers can see that they have made the right decision, obviously. But at the moment he's proven that he does belong in D4. I have to say, anyone else going on a lap, I think most people are in sector 2 right now. I think Slayer's on another person to keep an eye out on the mediums. What is going to be his sector 2 time? We'll find out in just a few moments time, as a few people are finding it hard to hit their laps at the moment, as a few people have invalidated. I believe Matt invalidated his lap, so you'll probably have to go again very, very soon. Don't forget, you only have three soft laps in qualifying compared to obviously last game where you have 4. So I'm not surprised a few people on the meme just to get a feel for it, but we'll see with Slayer as he heads towards the final few corners as well. As a few drivers are going into the pit. A little bit tidier than what we saw with Heated LH on his first lap. So I think it's going to be a lot better lap for Sale on the mediums. Not too bad, 134.571. A few attempts of a flip on the soft compound tyres. And that is it for lap for now, as Y123 and Licks are on their outlaps. Licks, another driver to watch out for, because he is always a good qualifier in Division 5 last season. Never hooks it in the race sometimes. He always gets unlucky with mistakes. But with him in a higher division, maybe he will be involved in less mistakes and just have a much better race because of it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of drivers like that that kind of do well in qualifying, can't put it in the race. I think I had that issue for about 4 years and counting at the moment, where I just can't put it together in the race. But this is a division, sometimes going up into a high division, it just helps you click. You've got more competition, you kind of have to make it stick. We're going to look, you were mentioning Slayer, that's a good lap time for a medium. A 34.5, he'll be hoping to improve a little bit. As you can see, Jordan, I think he's choosing to go out on the mediums soon. But Slayer had a somewhat of a nothing season last season, Division 4. He'll be hoping to improve in it a lot more. He kind of just sat in the midfield, finishing 13th, but he did get a really good result by the end of it. I think he got a 2nd place at Japan, so towards the end of the season he started to pick it up a little bit, so he'll be hoping to carry that through and hope this season's a little bit more for him.
Yeah, I was obviously watching D4 because I was jeffing someone in D4 as well, and yeah, he made quite a few mistakes, I think, in some of the races, but there were some races where he performed really well, so hopefully he will improve on his consistency, as he invalidated his lap, but he was on his in-lap as well, so it doesn't matter. So who is further ahead? Is it Licks or Y? I think it's Y that's further ahead, so we're right on board with him as well. I believe he was in D3 last season. I'm not entirely sure, but he was in D4, I think, the season before. So he is a familiar face to this division anyway. So hopefully this will give him the confidence to score much better results again. Ooh. As he's currently 2nd at the moment. Can he beat Lard this time with a 132 point? Well, he does stay in 2nd position. He does not improve on position though. Lars is just a class above everybody else at the moment, but I'm sure there's other people from Division 3 last season that could top Lars' time, but just nobody's able to do it at the moment. But to be fair, there were some times that Lars was able to do that can match the D3 times from last season, so that's probably why. But we'll see how they go in the race as Connor goes through sector 2 now. Lex is about, oh no, Lex is not going to start his lap. He's backed off a little bit because obviously he invalidated his lap. So 3 people yet to set a time, and It's not good for Matt to say his time because he's been very confident about this season. He feels like Division 4 was the best tier, but the organisers, I have to say, are keeping an eye out on sandbags as well. So if you want to go in a lower division and sandbagging, that's not going to help people, my friends. So just show your true pace, you should be fine. But I think they'll be able to tell who's been sandbagging and who's not.
You leave Cam K alone, he'd never do that. So, look at, I'll tell you what, YHYY, looking at his lap, last season actually, he was a favourite to do quite well. I think he had a quite disappointing season for most people, as Lars is DNF'd.
Lars DNF'd in the S's. Is anyone
He's
going
completely lost
the
it.
Flip, actually, yeah, he binned it at the outside of the S's, actually, as well, so... imagine what Lars' time could have been without, but yeah, that's a bit of a shame for Lars, but why goes in the pits as well. But yeah, as you were saying, there were some drivers obviously that were picked to do well in D4 last season, but their form just started to go a bit downhill at times as well, and that's why they're here still here in Division 4, obviously. In lower divisions, I know a few people in Division 4 have dropped to Division 5 because I'll be racing later on as well. You can catch D2 and D5 where, well, Nolan is racing next week, but he's not racing this week because he's got the night off. He's got the night off tonight.
Too good, you see.
Yeah, he's too good.
They looked at me, they thought, this guy's clearly going to be 2 champion, we don't need to worry about him.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
they'll give me the day off.
I'm rooting for you, just saying. Yeah, but you can catch D2 and D5 at 8 PM with J. Cole and Daka taking you through the D2 action. And now we got the legends, Killer Blue and Packer covering the D5 action this season. But the action
That's a good commentary duo, you know.
Yeah, it is. Both commentary duos are pretty
Steve
good
Day's
as well.
just taken pole.
Steve Day.
32.2.
Steve Day, what a lap from him. I have to say that is really, really good as well. I'm trying to remember if he actually raced last season or not.
I've never heard of him. Not that name anyway, unless it's someone that's had a name change. But
I was wondering if it's Steve-O, but I don't think it's Steve-O because I don't think Steve-O signed up this season. So
I'm not sure. I'm gonna just take our attention to Heated's lap because he's close to where he was at before. I think he's upshifted way too early though. But this was a sector I think he might be looking for another lap. He's gone high up in his gears, but that's the second lap that he's been on now. He's going to come in. That he's been on a pole position lap and messed it up, so he's showing that he has the pace. And we saw that with YHYY before. He was on to take pole, and on the second to last corner he's gone a bit wide. So that's a corner that's taken a few people now, but it's showing that the pace at the front of the grid is quite close. Look how many 0.5s there are there. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'll just look at the gap between first and seventh. 5 tenths per second, that is insane. And then between first and sixth is about 3 tenths. So, and I believe I'm just looking at the best tyre. Everyone set their best lap time on the soft compounder tyres. I think Jordan did try to do a lap on the mediums, but he invalidated, or he didn't go quicker than his soft run. So I'm guessing you wanted to start on the mediums. But you can do a soft to medium strategy around here, I think. Not a problem, just pit. The tyre deck around here is not that massive as well, but obviously with no safety cars, you could just plan your strategies quite well and you won't have to worry about any late safety cars that kind of ruin that strategy. That will happen next week as Slayer actually has invalidated. Watch out for a few track limit warnings, I think, tonight. I think we're going to see a few penalties, but I think I've commentated on a few USA races. It is harder to get penalties around here compared to last year's game, so probably the curves are a little bit better this season as Slayer goes into the pits. I think he's backed off of his lap. Energetic is a few 100s down on his lap, so we'll see if he does improve as well. But 4 minutes to go. Can anyone beat Steve Day's lap? I think Y could. Aledi could as well. I think literally anyone who is in the 132s could generally beat Steve's lap.
Yeah, and I think what you were saying before about the softs, with there only being 13 people, if you think you've got the pace to get into the top 10, starting on the mediums, you're not going to get as big of an advantage as before, because obviously you're going to get a bit aware. The advantage is starting on the mediums, doing the alt strat, which is famously so good at so many tracks, but 13th is the furthest down you're going to start, so it might just be worth going for the softs and hoping. But I think people might be hoping medium to soft is a better way, because the mediums, they do hold pace for quite a while on this track, and the way you were saying how there's not much tyre deg, there isn't, but there's a lot of tyre heat you do overheat a lot, so you have to put down your tyre temperatures, which then adds to tyre wear. So it's a little balancing game to sort out your tyre wear and to also make sure you're not overheating. So I think maybe qualifying on the mediums might be a really smart shout with only being 13 people.
To be honest, I think that's what I could be thinking as well if it was a low turnout for any grid as well, because only 3 people will get 3 tyre choice as well. And I think Max is thinking of exactly the same thing as Lix, who was also a good qualifier in Division 5 last season. Come across the line in P1 with a 132.0, 2 tenths quicker than Steve. And Steve's currently in the pits, but he should have time to get another lap in as well. Matt's on a lap, he's a few 100s down, so he needs to find a good tenth or two to be better than his soft time, so which he does not. Oh, he does. Oh, he does improve actually, I think. Yeah, he said his best lap time on the medium, so if he can stay in 10th, that could be huge for Matt in at P10 right now, as Jordan's starting his final lap. Final few laps actually. Most people are going on their out laps. Steve, you better go out of the pits, my friend, because otherwise you're not going to make it in time. But it may just be a glitch that we see an hour ahead than the other drivers. But or maybe Steve is confident with his lap time and thinks he could stay in second. But I would go for pole if I was him. But we'll have to wait and see who could topple Liz up the front as well. And I think this is also a race to see as well, who could potentially be your teammate as well, as some drivers haven't decided who their teammates are going to be yet. This race could decide who could be your teammates. It's not just about the drivers this season, it's also about the constructors too.
Yeah, it definitely could be. It's a good way of scouting, especially if you're new to the league and you don't know many people. But you were saying about Steve not coming out. Maybe Steve's thinking the bigger picture and having a fresh set of softs for the race, because if he's going to pit, the only issue with that is there's no safety car this time, so I don't see a situation where he should be pitting for another set of softs. Maybe that's not crossed his mind, but in this situation, it is a one-stop race quite easily, so I'd assume everyone in the top 10, unless they pick up damage, just to be going onto the mediums after the softs. I don't see another way, because there's no safety car. So Matt's on the mediums, I would say normally would have an advantage. The issue is he's done 3 laps on those mediums to get that lap time, so the advantage is kind of gone. Like he's won 3 laps into them.
It's pretty much going to be the same delta as the softs pretty much as well, because they only last a few laps longer than the softs, 4 laps longer than the softs. So yeah, he's probably going to be pitting exactly the same time as the soft runners. So Matt will probably have to go onto the higher compounded tyres, which is not ideal. So Matt will be thinking, right, hopefully there'll be someone that qualifies better than me and you can start on a fresh set of mediums, because starting in 10th is not where you want to be on old sets of mediums, my friend. Has waited for the last few people to set their lap times, as we've got Flip, who is heading towards the final couple of corners then as well. Kite is sitting in 12th at the moment with a 134.1, but he admits that USA was not his strongest track, as Lix cannot improve on his lap time, neither can Steve, so we'll see if anyone else can improve on that. Flip improves on his time, but doesn't improve on position. Storm comes across the line, P3 for him. That is a very good lap time, quite close to Steve's time with a 132.2. Y has invalidated, so he can't improve. Aledi, actually, who was in Division 5 last season, he's going to go to finish off the final sector. And please don't invalidate Aledi. That would have been good.
This is a lap by Heated, you know. He's had a really good start to the lap.
Aledi comes across the line, P4. Let's watch Heated through sector 2. 1/10 quicker than his previous.
3 tenths up.
Purple sector 2.
He's 3.5 tenths up in his time. This could be a banger.
This could be pole. This could be pole.
His last sector was very poor as well. This could be a 31. His last sector was very poor in his last lap.
We'll see that as well, as he's the next person to cross the line, and then it'll be Energetic. So we'll do Heated first, then Energetic.
Oh, come on, my son. This is it. This is a 31.
So Heated comes across the line. Is he going to be the first man into 131s or beat Lix's time?
No!
Oh, only by a few hundredths of a second. He just misses out. But Energetic's 133.6, so he improves by, I think, a few hundredths of a second, but not improved on position. So it is Lix on pole position for the pre-season race. Don't forget, it means nothing in terms of obviously points or anything, because we're not racing until next week. So it's Lick from Heated, from Steve, from Storm, from Aledi, from Lars, from Y, from Jordan, from Slayer, and from Connor. And they'll be starting on the softs. And we have Matt, who's probably prayed to the gods and was happy that he's going to start on fresh mediums. And we got Energetics in 12th and Flip in 13th. They'll get free choice of tyres. And they're most likely going to be starting on the medium tyres. Quite a close qualifying session. Most of the grid within a second.
Yeah, I tell you what, with only 13 people, I think I'd rather be outside the top 10. Unless I'm on the front 2 rows, I think I'd rather be 11th, 12th and 13th and get that fresh set of mediums to start with.
Yeah, I would as well, but we'll have to wait and see as the drivers do get their setups on as well. And obviously no rain is expected, no safety car as well. It's just the drivers' pure pace, and if you do retire, it will be frowned upon, I have to say as well. So before we start the race, quickly have a run through of the calendar for this season. We've got, I think, around about 17 races, so it's quite long, but hopefully the drivers will be ready with it. So after our pre-season race today, we've got Imola this week, next week, and we got France, then Portugal, Austria, Monaco, Silverstone, Jeddah, Bahrain, Australia, Belgium, Netherlands, Russia. Then we have a break week in the middle of April. Then we have China, Hungary, Canada, Brazil, and then Abu Dhabi to round off the season. Quite a few tracks were on the grid on the grid last season. There's a few tracks making its debut, just like Jeddah as well, which I'm absolutely dreading from a racing perspective. As a commentator's perspective, I'm looking forward to it.
Some could say you're absolutely jedding it.
Nice pun there. I know Nella with puns anyway, but that is your calendar for this season, and everybody's going to be on their formation lap now. So let's switch over. So top 10, obviously on the softs, Matt's on the mediums to be expected, Energetics on the softs. What? I don't know if I would have done that if I was outside the top 10, but. And Flip is on the medium compounded tyres. Maybe Energetic wants to get through as many cars as he possibly can. But turn 1 could be messy, but because it's quite a low turnout anyway, maybe he's regretting that mistake. But we'll have to wait and see. He's pretty much got to get past Tim Matz in 11th in order to have any sort of advantage from starting 12th on those softs. But he's on fresh softs anyway, so he should be fine. I don't think he used mediums in qualifying, because I don't know, because if he did use mediums in qualifying, he's going to have an old set of mediums for the final stint, which is not ideal. But I would rather be on fresh mediums, but we'll see, as they're all making through sector 2 now. I'm going to put you on the spot here. Name your top 3 for tonight's race.
Oh, right. I can't not back my boy Heated, my old D4 teammate. He's in the Red Bull Sporting how we used to be, so Heated's getting the win, the Malta man. I'm going to go for Storm to get second, because he had a really good end to the season. Well, he had a really good middle of the season in D4. He got 9th overall in the season. I think he could pull something out. I'm going to go for Storm to go second. And I think Jordan will go third. He don't make many mistakes. I think a lot of these people might be trying a bit too much to prove themselves. YHYY I'd want to put for the win, but he spins. So, but we'll hope he doesn't. But I'm going to go Heated, Storm, and Jordan.
Nice. Well, obviously there is a award on offer every season for biggest gainer. So maybe Wise hoping for that this season. I'm going to go for Storm, Heated, and then I'm torn between Steve and Lex. But I'm going to go for Lex because he's not usually that good in terms of keeping his P1 in the race. But I'm praying he does keep his podium position for the race, because that will be a good debut for him in Division 4 to show off his campaign in style and prove that he deserves to be there and not in Division 5. But here we go. The pre-season race for Division 4 is about to start. The 5 red lights are coming on your screens right now, and we are underway. Let's see who has the better getaway. It looks like an equal start from both of them, but Heated probably has the advantage starting on the left-hand side, potentially. He covers off Lex into turn 1 side by side as well. Nobody going off the track in turn 1. Looks like it's been very clean so far. Licks just has the edge there on Heated, heading through the S's section at the moment. As before most people have gone off there. Jordan's lost a few places. Matt has gone up to 10th place, so he's had a good start so far, as well as Wyatt has had a bit of a moment in the S's. He's dropped down into second to last place, so he's not liking USA at all. Apart from that, everybody else seems to be keeping it relatively clean so far. Lars has also gained a few positions. He's actually lost one now because Aledi has got past him, but Matt, Slayer, Jordan having a good start, and Energetics and Flip has gained positions. But obviously, biggest loser at the moment has to be Wyatt. He's just losing a bit of traction. Maybe he hasn't warmed up his tyres enough on the formation lap.
For me, Wyatt's still in 6th.
Oh.
Is it Energetics maybe that you're thinking? I'm not sure, but
why is in 13th for me?
Oh, that's Flip Namsram for me. For me, at the moment, YHYY's still in 6th place. He's battling with Aledi and Jordan currently.
Oh, I hope it's not a desync. I hope it's not. It might be a desync actually. I don't know.
He looks to be driving like fine. It doesn't seem to be like a ghost for me. So he's currently going around the last corner now for me. He's just behind 5th. But luckily at the moment, anyway, it's about the pace. As long as he's setting the same lap times, we should be all right.
Yeah, he's desynced for me because he was showing us first for a minute. But anyway, we get to see Wyatt's the only one that's desynced for me. Everyone else is fine, so no need to leave the lobby anyway. Otherwise, it would ruin the stream anyway if I do that. So we'll carry on anyway. Lick still leads though from Heated in 2nd position. And any moves that Y does, Nolan will have to do a bit of radio commentary. So if Y does go for a move, just interrupt me for dear life, and then we'll try and cover it as radio at the moment as well. So, but yeah, I didn't see Y go off. So probably it's just the timing tower being an absolute nightmare again. But anyway, Heat is looking very, very good on Licks. If he had DRS there, which will be in a lap's time, he could have possibly gone for the move. But again, he's not quite close enough. But he's got good straight line speed at the moment, which is great to see as well. Slayer is battling with the light of Matt at the moment. Energetic's having a nice battle with Connor. So Connor's now into last place. Energetic is in 11th position. So nice little scrap from there. Oh, Connor, you don't want to be doing that on lap 2. Already he's got the first 3-second time penalty. And if you get a time penalty now, he may get more as well. 3 warnings in 2 laps. That is not good. But DRS will be enabled very, very shortly. So chance for people to make moves as Aledi has spun in the final corner. Similar mistake to what we saw one of the McLarens do in qualifying. So he's now in last position.
Yeah, and it's a shame, but hopefully he carries on. He can still show his pace. Obviously, it's not ideal. You want to be getting the best result you can, but you can still show your pace. Maybe close down the gap. We can still see how much he closes down the gap. But interestingly from that, the top 4 have kept their positions. So the front 4 haven't really lost anything. I saw Heated on the lap 1. He was struggling a little bit, but Licks has got a really poor exit, and it's really a battle now of someone brand new to division, and then we've also got quite a veteran now of LE with Heated. So it's going to be new school versus old school to see who can take the win at the moment, and we'll see whether Licks can hold his nerve, as Heated's probably going to get DRS, and I assume this is going to start a good little overtaking battle.
Yeah, he was going to go for the move, I think, last lap if there was DRS. So it was a good overtake from Heated as well. No challenge for Licks there, and Heated is your race leader at the moment. Steve is trying to get within the DRS range of these two as well, and if he can, he could try and go attempt for an overtake as well. Meanwhile, Flip is in P10. He's going to try and overtake Energetic in the next potential few corners or few laps as well. But again, he's a little bit too far back to do that at the moment as well. As Lars is doing not too bad at the moment. He's staying where he is at the moment in 6th. So I have to say that he's doing a pretty decent job, but you will probably be expecting higher as Connor gets another penalty. He must not be liking on the penalty friend at the moment. 6 seconds already. He's probably lucky it isn't a normal league race, as YY just keeps going up and down on my screen. That is frustrating. I don't know why, but I'm not able to tell if it's decent when I join the lobby, unfortunately. Hopefully I don't get that problem when I race later on. But lap 4 of 28 so far. Top 6 doing well on these softs. Tim Matt's the highest medium runner at the moment. He's doing pretty decent as well. He'll probably start to come alive as Lars has had a bit of a moment in the just after the S's there as well. He binned it completely on his own there. Not good from the newly promoted Division 4 driver. Well, Division 5 driver to Division 4. So he's now down in 12? Yeah, it's 12 because is Y still down where Energetics is at the moment?
Y is in 5th place. He's just sat behind this. He's just sat in the train, to be honest. There's a little train going on. He's quite comfortable in 5th place, just behind Storm. And at the moment, it's looking like Heaty's in a league of his own and the rest, because this is the difference between some experience in the higher divisions. LAX, I've seen, he's very low in ERS already. He's only got 25%. And you can tell through these fast speed corners, he's struggling with tyre temperatures. He's gone very, very wide for the second time there. So I don't think he's changed his tyre temperatures down, which you find a lot from people in Division 5. They take a setup from TT and they bring it over and they don't really adjust it for the race. And I think that's where the experience of Heated will probably benefit.
Yeah, as well, you really start to learn the setup skills anyway, the more you are league race anyway as well, because just don't get a time trial set up for league races because your tyre temperatures overheat as hell, and just get a setup which is for the race as well. I don't pick a setup unless it's suited for the race. If it's only a time trial setup, I don't pick it. So, you know, it's really starting to come back to bite in the end as well. Next we'll probably have to pit a little bit earlier than Heated as well, but maybe you could go for the cheeky undercuts, but it doesn't matter. But watch out for the memes in the end, because like you said earlier, Nolan, tyre temps are a factor here, as Lars goes into the pits for a set of the medium compounded tyres. And I'm just trying to see how many laps to go this race, and it usually lasts about 16 laps around there, so that's not going to get to the end, and there's no safety car, so I'm guessing Lars will have to pit one more time, or will he try and do a bit of lifting and coasting to get to the end? We don't know. Meanwhile, Flip gets past Connor on those mediums, potentially. Connor's going to fight it back, the first person to fight it back tonight, but Flip just stayed ahead. Oh, Connor, I have to say Flip not doing too bad as well. In 9th position as well. Tim Matt is up in a 7th position. So obviously we've got Storm, now we've got Wine, and we've got Jordan in 6th position. Right now, Jordan, they're all in this big train, I would say, from P4 all the way down to P7, which is, I have to say, looks pretty good so far. And I think we're seeing Matt trying to get past Jordan. So I wonder, we're seeing a crossover point for the soft right now, which is quite surprising, but some drivers are on a pad, so it's to be expected. So Matt gets past Jordan in turn 1 quite comfortably up to P6.
Yeah, it probably helps us a lot, like you were saying before when Lars went into the mediums. It's probably more beneficial for us, maybe not for him for the race, but we can see what his pace is like on the mediums, which is what this race is all about, really. It's not truly about where you finish. So Lars being on the mediums, probably a better choice for the Orgs. They can have a look what he's like. I think we're comfortable being able to see he probably should be in Division 4. He's going to struggle. We saw with the mistake that he made. It is a hard adjustment going up, even just one division. He's no longer going to be the king of this division. He's going to have to fight people that are much more experienced, possibly even faster than him. So it's interesting to see how they adjust with that.
Sorry, Nolan, having to interrupt you there. Steve has got past Licks there for P2, though. Steve is up at the ante on those soft tyres and getting past for a crucial position in this race to try and get past Heaty now. I think he is quicker than Licks, but yeah, there's a few people that have been in position. I've commented on a few tiers where they've been king of one division and then, or one tier, and then when they go to a high division, they tend to struggle a little bit and maybe just have different expectations, just aim for points as well, potentially. Because obviously you come into different divisions with different expectations. If you do quite well in a Division 1 season, if you're in the same division another season, your expectation will be higher. But if you do really well in one division, which gets you promoted to another division in another season, then obviously your expectation will be quite low because there'll be obviously some drivers more experienced than you. So yeah, I have to agree with you on this one. As Y is he? Well, yeah, he's definitely decent. He said he's in the pits for me. but he's coming towards the final corner. So, yeah, ignore that. Ignore that.
He has pitted. Yeah, he's pitted onto the mediums.
All right, okay. So, yeah,
but he's on sector 1 right now.
Okay. Yeah, apologies about that, guys. We can't see why on stream. I do not know why. Desyncing in this lobby is very frustrating. But anyway, Steve, I believe, is using a lot more ERS than Licks, but let's watch out Matt's, actually, as he's absolutely flying on those millions, actually. He's got past Storm, so Storm is up into 4th. Storm is down into 5th. Matt's up to 4th position as well. And he's only 1.4 seconds behind Licks on those softs, so, yeah, his medium pace, I have to say, is not too shabby. It's pretty good as well, and this is a sign, could be a sign for things to come for Max in this division as well. But he was a driver that got demoted as well. Maybe should he be in a high division? We don't know. But at the moment, his pace is looking quite strong. He's qualified not so much, but his race pace is definitely strong as Heated comes in. But nobody else is going for that option. Everybody else stays out. So Steve wants to go for the overcut. Heated going for the undercut, which I'm not too surprised about because he wants to have a good gap as we see someone else in the pits, and that is Con from P10 on the grid. So he's also going to be going onto the medium tyres, which should get to the end, I think, not a problem. But we'll see how everybody else does as well. So it's Steve, that's your race leader at the moment, but comfortably it will be Heated that it will be your net race leader.
I mean, for now, but I honestly think the net race leader at the moment is going to be Matt's. These mediums are miles faster than the softs at the moment now. The softs have died off dramatically. Heated undercutting is a good short-term fix. I think I'd have stayed out because you see how fast Matt's is catching up. He's going to be on those mediums for a bit yet, and then he's going to be on the softs. So by the time Matt's is on the softs, Heated's mediums are going to be older than they should be. So I think Heated might have benefited from staying out. He didn't really need to pit yet. It was ahead of the other two cars by nearly 2 seconds. So I think Matt's at the moment in a very good position if he doesn't spin or anything to possibly win this race. And it'll be quite close between him and Heated. And maybe that penalty that he has picked up could come back to bite him.
Yeah, I think so as well. 4 drivers have got time penalties in this race. So they've got a lot of work to do to try and negotiate and not get any more penalties. Luckily, there's no safety cars, so the field won't be bunched up in a sense as well. As more drivers are in the pits, Jordan's in, Slayer is in as well, going on into the medium tyres. Steve and Lick stay out as well as Storm and Energetics as well. So Matt is already on the back of Steve. So yeah, if you're not on those medium tyres right now, I would strongly suggest you would box because Matt is already catching on the back of Steve.
Yeah, you can see the undercut, how powerful it is. YHYY within the DRS zone of Heated, and he only pitted 1 lap. Obviously, you can't see this right now, but he is in the DRS zone of Heated, so he's getting so much to the group. So maybe for him it's paid off, but at the end of the race, those mediums are going to be screaming. So I think Matt's starting on the mediums, it's going to benefit him a lot. Look, we're going to see the pace. It's worked out for now, but we'll see what these two like at the end of the race.
Here we go then. Matt's going to go for the move for the race lead. Obviously, it won't last for long because he will have to pit for the soft later on in the race, but I'm sure he's going to relish the glory at least anyway. He's your race leader for the time being. So Steve and Licks will be thinking, hang on, these medium runners are starting to come through. Maybe I should box as well. And we'll see if these guys can get ahead of Heated and YHYY as well on track, or will they be behind? I'm almost certain that they'll be behind as well because Heated will had a comfortable gap over some of these guys as well. So obviously Matt's going to stay out because he's got to stretch those for pretty much quite a bit of a lap. As we got Licks in the pits, Steve staying out. Steve is staying out.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he's staying out. There's no safety car, and he's just seen how much faster these mediums are. If he wanted any fight at the race, he should have pitted the moment he saw Heated go into the pits, to be honest with you. So maybe a lack of experience there is keeping him out. I'm not sure what he's hoping for, but those softs are very, very slow by now, and I don't think he's going to gain an advantage at the end of the race because they'll already be so far ahead. Like, you've got to play the DRS game, and he's not going to be in the DRS whatsoever.
To be honest, I would have boxed if I started on the softs and I saw my rivals come in and pit, because I would have lost so much more time. And you could already see a few drivers who have already pitted just trying to catch up to you as well. And I'm just seeing the gap as well. Heated only 14 seconds behind Steve, and the pit lane lost 22 seconds. So Steve has lost a chunk of time just by staying out. He's going to drop. I'm just going to see actually where he's going to be. So Lick's obviously in 4th position. He's going to be ahead. So 14, 18, 19, 20, 21, and so is Storm. So Heated, Lick, Storm, and potentially YHYY will be ahead of Steve. So he's going to drop down from, let's say, 2nd all the way down to 4th, 5th, or even 6th position. So, yeah, it may be down to the inexperience.
And Slayer's got up on the inside of Jordan, now going into the hairpin. Jordan's already derating. Not managing his ERS very well. I've seen him, he's pretty much been in the teens when it comes to his ERS for most of the race already, so he's not managed that too well. Slayer now got up into 7th, a very good recovery drive from Slayer, who didn't have the best of qualifying, so he's up into 7th place on those mediums. Steve Day and Matt's still yet to pit. I think Steve Day will come up behind him because the train was quite long. Steve Day's going to lose a ton of positions here, I think.
Yeah. And I thought we saw someone almost spin it in the pit lane there, but luckily Energetic goes in as well, so he's going to see how he is on the memes, but Energetic's going to drop a lot of time. But to be honest, for him, it's all about pace as well. For some of these drivers, they don't care about results, they just care about their pace in general, and if they're putting consistent lap times on those medium tyres, then I could give them confidence until the end of the race as well. I think we'll see a few ambitious strategies from some of these guys with the likes of Steve, and who was just boxed. And yeah, Steve was very lucky to be ahead of Storm there.
It's cost him
lucky.
5.5 seconds staying out. Look off, he was a 1.5 seconds behind Heated.
And
it's
now he's
cost him
about
a lot of time.
5-6 seconds. That is how much time he's lost to Heated. So bit of a shame there for Steve, but you know, there's still enough time in this race. He's got fresher tyres as well, so still a long way to go. We've got about on lap 11, we've got about 18 laps to go pretty much of this race, as Slayer and Storm going for a move into turn 12, and Slayer looks like he got the job done there, but he does have a time penalty, so that's probably why Storm didn't challenge it too much, because he knows that if Storm could
he's
keep it in the
to the inside.
He's going for it. He's going for it. The switchback of Dreams into this next right-hander, and he's got it, heading through 16 now. What a move, Storm, I have to say. One of the moves of the stream so far. He didn't have to do that, but he wanted to do that. And more crucially, he's trying to catch up to the likes of Stephen Licks now, and maybe try and catch up to Heated will be a bit more difficult. We do have a yellow flag. That is Connor that spun.
Oh, and Heated's made contact with YHYY in the first corner. He spun it. And that's massive for the race.
It is.
He just touched his back end, just touched the back wheel there. Didn't get the car turned in time. That wasn't YHYY's fault. I wonder if there's desync on their end as well. That'd be interesting to see. But it'll be interesting actually, yeah, whether on their screen YHYY was there or not.
Yeah, I wonder if you're the only one that can see Y properly, and everybody else is having issues. I don't know.
Yeah, because Heated did he almost did the corner as if YHYY wasn't there,
yeah,
and then he got span out. So that means it looks like maybe there might be a decent issue on YHYY's end, which is a shame.
Yeah, that's probably why. And I think he's probably fine for some of us, half of us in the lobby, but then for the other half of the lobby, you probably can't see him as well, which is a bit of a shame because you're meant to be showing your pace around him, not worry about desync issues. But it is starting to become a bit of a problem at the moment since I think the update happened on Monday. But Slayer and Storm going side by side again, and it's time into turn 13 and 14, now heading towards 15 and 16. This time Storm ahead and Slayer not going for the attack this time, so Slayer thinks that Storm could go even quicker than himself, but Slayer needs to really go for it at this moment in time. So everyone has boxed except Matt, who will be going onto the softs near the end of the race. Flip, I don't know what he's done. He's gone onto the soft tyres at this moment in time. I forgot where he started in the race actually. Let me have a look. He started outside the top 10 and he started on mediums, I believe. So interestingly, he's gone on softs this early. But if he proves that let me have a look how many laps we got. 12 laps. Oh, as Jordan spun and he's made contact with someone, but I'm not sure who. I wonder if it's another desync problem. I don't know, but Jordan's out of this race.
Yeah, the lobby seems a little bit weird. I'm hoping that's not quite out of character from Jordan, so you never know. But that's the first actual retirement that we've seen. Unfortunately, I think, luckily for the Orgs, they kind of know Jordan's pace already. We know that he's a D4 driver, so it's not going to affect too much. It's just a shame he don't get to finish the race and build up some momentum for the season, really.
Yeah, that is a bit of a shame for Jordan at the moment, but I did see he made contact with a Mercedes driver. But the Mercedes just came back on itself, so I wonder if there's a few more decent cars as well.
Well, it could be Licks then. Maybe Licks is in P3 at the moment, and Mats is in P1. I don't see how it'd be Mats.
No, I don't think it's Mats, because he's 17 seconds down the road to Licks, so yeah, it's not Mats. But yeah, apologies about the issues that we've been having in this lobby, but hopefully when Tinkan is back next week, the lobby issues will be fixed, as Slayer has slowed down a little bit. He's let his teammate for tonight pass anyway at this moment in time, and Slayer comes in to the pit lane for, I believe he got involved in a collision. Did he get damaged? I don't know, or he just wanted to go for softs. He's retired.
Oh, cool.
He's retired from the race. Why would you do that? But to be fair, again, he's another driver that we know is D5, D4 pace anyway. So, that nothing to worry about. But obviously, if you retire in the pits like that, that doesn't look good for you for the season ahead, I don't think. So, but that means if it was a normal race, everyone will get points right now, since we have 2 retirements. So, let's see how these drivers could push to try and get as many points as they can and pretty much start their pre-season campaign on a high, as Steve has caught up to the back of Licks now. So Steve doing a brilliant job to capitalise on his mistakes at the moment, and able to try and close in on Licks. Hopefully Steve doesn't have the same problem as what we saw Jordan have earlier. So we'll see if they can fight quite cleanly at the moment, as Lars gets past Aledi at the moment, up into P7. Aledi on the hards, interesting enough though. He's not confident that the memes could get to the end.
No, but he has showed good pace on those hards. Like, he's had a really good recovery drive after that mistake he made early on. To be in 9th on the hards, I know there's not many people in the race, but he's not showing bad pace. He's keeping up with Lars, who was D5 champion, and he's on the mediums, so we've got a good little scrap at the front, sorry, with Licks and Steve. They're still going at it. These two are showing to be possible common enemies for the season if this carries on.
They could be championship contenders this season, between Steve and Licks, I have to say. And don't forget, I believe Licks joined mid-season in Division 5 last season, and obviously he got promoted into D4 due to the fact that he got so many points in the amount of races he's got. So Licks then, I think he's going to get Steve this lap, but the question is, Licks is more experienced than Steve in League of Europe, so will Licks' experience help him compared to Steve? So he's got more ERS compared to Steve at the moment.
Oh,
he's not even
joking.
using it. He's not even using ERS. He's just going a DRS overtake, getting past Steve. He's gone wide as well. Could Steve fight back? Deep. Steve's got a better exit actually into the corner. We just helped him defend from Licks there. But if Licks didn't go wide, he would have got him. He would have got him, but Licks could get him back into turn 15 and 16. No, not quite. So Steve just stays ahead, but he was very lucky that Licks went wide.
And I'd just like to interrupt the broadcast, guys, to let you know that I've just lost £60 on an accumulator because Aston Villa have scored 2 goals. So I am fuming. Absolutely fuming.
There we go.
I should have cashed out. I should have cashed out.
Fair enough. But anyway, we're seeing our Licks and Steve going for a move again into turn 1. Can Licks have a good exit this time and not go wide? He has a much better exit into turn 1 and 2. So Licks stayed in P3, but Steve is getting closer and closer. I wonder if Heaton and Sean could join this little battle as well. We don't have that long to go to the end of the race. This race has gone by super fast at the moment. And we do have an update from Jordan, as Steve almost fell victim of a similar corner to what we saw Jordan do. Wasn't desync, his rear tyre just got hooked with Slayer's front due to the contact model. So it was Slayer that he hit, and that's why Slayer retired, because he didn't see any point in racing anymore. So yeah, so there we go. That is the reason why Jordan is out of the race. Steve's dropped a little bit from Licks actually, so unless Steve could get better effect of the DRS, no, he does not. So Licks stays in second, but unfortunate to see why Jordan retired, but at least he can concentrate on next week when we head to Imola for the opening round.
Yeah, I tell you what, I know it's been decent for you guys, but YHYY's pace has been incredible at the moment. He's currently in second. He's 11.6 behind Mats, who is yet to pit. YHYY could be on for a race win here, and he's completely decent for you guys, so I'm not sure whether he's going to get the win or not. But currently for me, he's on for a race win. Mats is going to have to pit soon.
He has to.
I don't know why he's not pit already. I'd have pitted already, but
that could get. It could last 12 laps. It could last 12 laps. So
yeah, he has to come in this lap.
Last lap. He should have pitted at the end of lap 16.
I tell you what, heated spinning has opened this up a lot, because otherwise he'd have been on for a clear win. Heated now spinning. It's going to be quite a scrap towards the end between YHYY. Mats is going to have to make his way through. I don't think he's going to come out ahead of heated. He'll be very, very close. He stayed out maybe a lap or two too long, and now YHYY has picked up a penalty. The race win is going to be very, very interesting, because Matt, it's going to come down to the last lap, I think.
Yeah, I think it is going to come down to the final lap. I'm almost certain it's going to be very, very, very tight for some of these drivers to go for the win. I like this as well. Shame I can't see why battling for the win, because he's currently last on my... He's always jumped from first to last at the moment, which is a bit of a shame, but that's what the lobby is these days as well. So if I was Matt, I would box, because those softs will comfortably get to the end. You'll be on the fresher tyres compared to anybody. You're only going to be in, I would say between heated, storm and flip, I would say. If you box as Matt stays out. Interesting. Well, to be honest, it's only pre-season, but he's not going to give you good confidence if you stay out on the means for this long and then lose out so much time. We saw that with Steve, how much time he lost with just staying out a few extra laps. We could see the same for Matt.
Yeah, I don't see the benefit. He was 7 tenths down on that lap. He's losing a lot of time. The softs will easily go to the end now, and he needs as many laps as he can on those softs to close the gap. So he's just costing himself any chance of catching up at the moment, because YHYY has taken 2 seconds out of him in the last lap.
Yeah, Y's doing a great job so far, even though I can't see him at this moment in time as well. And, you know, this could be on for a good Seeds Division 4 campaign for YHYY if he keeps it up. And also for the likes of Steve Licks as well. And at least Licks is keeping it on the road, which is great to see as well. So maybe Division 4 is a suited tier for him, because he can race with people that have a little bit more experience. Usually that really helps you improve on your race. If you race with drivers that are more experienced than you, that helps you see where the car is planted for them and how they practice for their races. They give advice to you and stuff like that. And if you're on the same track as them, it just helps you spur on to improve more. So I think that's what Licks is benefited right now, with racing with drivers that are more experienced, and that is really going to help him for the opener. And with him going to be racing for the whole season now, this could really be his chance to challenge for the Division 4 title, as well as YHYY and the likes of Steve Heated as well. And obviously a few drivers are missing tonight. We'll see how their paces are. Mats is finally in the pits now, so he comes in onto those soft tyres. So that would put YHYY and Licks into a battle for the win. But we'll see where Mats comes out. We'll see if they come... I think it will just come out near where Heated is, I think. As the pit limiter is off. So it's going to be very, very close between himself and Heated. He comes out. He comes out just ahead of Heated.
He has come out ahead. Yeah, and I can't see Heated catching him now. That'll be it for Heated.
Yeah, because of the Delta tyres, around about 1.3 seconds per lap between the softs and the medium. So, yeah, I think Matt did a brilliant job.
And he has got now 7.3 seconds to close down, and we're going to see it absolutely plummet, and you're not going to get to enjoy any of this.
That is so annoying. I'm so frustrated.
He's closed a second in Sector 1. He has gained 1 second in Sector 1 to YHYY. This might not be a last lap after all.
This might not be last lap. He's gained a second on Steve. At least we get to see a Steve and Lick's battle at least, and Matt. So at least we get to see that, which is better than nothing, I guess, as well. But I think if Matt's got to get past these guys in order to have a gap that he needs as well. Lick's has got a penalty, so that is not good. So at the moment, Steve, is it Steve or YHYY your race? It's YHYY who's leading, isn't he?
Yeah, YHYY is currently in P1 on 11 lap old mediums, but he has a 3-second penalty as well. So he has the win. We can almost comfortably say that on penalties.
Yeah, Matt's
but
got
penalties isn't going to prove too much now. It's all about the pace on the pre-season. So I think he'll want to prove a statement now. He's going to go past Steve Day quite easily. I don't think Steve will challenge us too much. It'd be a bit silly too. Maybe Steve's probably best bet actually will be to use Matt's if he can. Stay in his DRS and try to use Matt's to get past the Licks.
Yeah, I think so as well. And he's got 2 more cars to pass at this moment in time, and he's going to see what he could do. So
he's flying.
He is absolutely
YHYY is going to be
just
begging Licks to do some defending.
Who's got fastest lap at the moment? It's Flip with a 1:35.7. I think he's way more than a 1:35 at the moment. He's got a penalty. He has got a penalty that might affect his placement. Storm could be up there and get a position off him, but it's Matt up into 2nd position. And
I'm not sure why he's gone for that. He's going to give away DRS. Yeah, that's going to cost him. This
could cost Matt. So Matt has got to defend for his life with his teammate. Side by side into turn 12. Licks just about has the edge there, but with a better exit on Matt. For Matt's just about howls on. He's been very, very lucky there as well. But Licks has another chance through turn 15 and 16. This is gold, I have to say, from the 2 Mercedes drivers. I wonder if they're going to be teammates for this season. That would be a strong duo between these 2 as well. And maybe Matt is going for the biggest gainer in Division 4 this season. I will not be surprised as we're about to start lap. About to start lap 21 of 28 as a wow. That is a fastest lap and a half, 1:34.697. So,
and that was with him battling as well. That wasn't even just a clean lap. He was fighting with Licks a little bit there.
That is impressive. That is impressive for Matt. So Matt now is going to try and see if he could get past YHYY. We won't be able to see any of it, but surely it's going to be a comfortable move for the Mercedes driver because he has just been looking unstoppable so far, and it just shows that you don't need to have a good qualifying to have a good race sometimes, and it just shows that the alternate strategy could work as well. That's something I might try out later, hint hint.
Well, he is currently in DRS range, in a penalty range, sorry, so he has the win on track. He has closed by another half a second in the 1 sector, so he's hunting down YHYY. I think he'll want to get past him on track just to prove a point. It is pre-season, he wants to prove his pace, but I said before this race that I think Matt has a cheeky little chance at actually going for a championship this season, and I think he's proven it this race. And YHYY is no slow driver. He's also come down from Division 3, so he's fighting someone on a similar level, and he's pace-wise absolutely obliterated him, but you can't take it away. It has been the alt strat.
Has been the alternate strategy. I think that's one Matt's over, I think, tonight as well. But yeah, sometimes I think I even see Matt's in the general chat of the LOE Discord saying, I want to go for that D4 title. He wants to go for that D4 title. And he even put on Twitter as well that he's confident of getting that title as well. And if you have that confidence, that will help you get spurred on to do very well. And if you do not have the confidence, then you're not really going to do very well. So Matt's is loving this right now as well. So, is he any closer to YHYY on track, or is he just going to stay behind? I think he can stay behind, so... But he doesn't need to fight YHYY.
I mean, he is literally touching the back of his car pretty much now. He is 0.2 seconds behind.
Oh, this is good. This is going to be good as well. Oh, well, I'll stay on board with Matt, because even though you won't be able to see it as energetic...
Up the inside.
Up the inside.
Oh no, YHYY's held it and they're side by side going down this straight. This is crazy. Who's got DRS?
YHYY's got DRS.
Oh, for me, Matt has. YHYY has not got
Matt
it.
doesn't have DRS for me.
Oh, dear me. Well, Matt's ahead now anyway. He's got past.
He's got past, so Matt is your leader, even though you can't see it at the moment. YHYY in second, Steve in third. And whilst we were talking about this battle, Energetic's out the race and retired. Didn't see how he retired, but he's retired. Yeah,
it's been unfortunate that we get to see that battle, to be honest, as Lix and Steve Day are still going at it, scrapping behind. So these two have been at each other's throats pretty much the whole race. I don't know what's happened to Heated. He was so confident in first, and he's just kind of dropped back, hasn't he?
I think he lost the confidence due to his spin as well. Maybe he's not liking those medium tyres potentially compared to the softs. And there are some tracks where you're more comfortable on the softs than the mediums, and you got to be confident on both tyres really as well. Apparently on my screen, Y is pitting for the softs.
He is doing.
Is it?
What? Is it? He's pitted for the softs. He's come out. He did pit really early. He pitted very, very early, actually. I remember saying that's why he got such an undercut.
Didn't he? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So because he doesn't show me pitting, but it does say pit on the right hand side. But
this must be just a showcase, maybe, of his pace now that he's trying to see if he can show us the fastest lap.
Yeah, try and beat Matt faster. He's not going to get the race win because everyone else is about 20 seconds down the road, but he is going to try and probably steal Matt's fastest lap. But at least
could get Storm. He probably will get Storm, and maybe even Heated. You know, he could probably get Heated.
He will because of penalties.
I bet on track as well.
Stephen Lix. Steve got past Lix into turn 12, as he has got past him. Yes, he adds up into P2. This is a battle to watch, folks, for the end of this race, but it's a shame that Lix has got a penalty, but Steve needs to defend for his life, but what if he gets a penalty? If he gets a penalty, it will be 4 positions, so he's got to fight for every tooth and nail, to be honest, and keep it clean, which is going to be very, very tricky, but Steve does go past Lix up into P2, even though he didn't have to do that anyway, he did. So at the moment, it'll be Matt, then Steve, then let's see about pens. Then it'll be Lix still because he just got more penalties. And then it'll be Lix, then Storm, then Heated. So Heated will be in P5. He'll drop down 1 position, which is not ideal, but still a long way to go at this race. And it appears that Y is in lead again, but he's not. But a few more laps to go. And Matt's gap that he's pulling away from the rest of the field is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, Matt's just been on fire since he's gotten those softs, and I think the reverse strategy has proven well. And could you imagine, we saw in qualifying, he was very lucky to actually get that P11. I wonder how things would have worked out, because he was on 3-lap-old mediums, sat in P10, so it could have been a completely different race if he didn't drop down into P11, but I'm on board with YHYY now, and he's just right up the gearbox of Storm, and he's probably going to get him in the next corner, because he's going to get the DRS, so I think overall, performance-wise, when you look at the pace, he's really impressed. Matt's is really impressed. I've really enjoyed this Lix and Steve battle, which is still going on there side by side. Nearly every lap, they seem to just exchange positions at that corner. Heated, I've been very impressed with.
I hope you and Ting can get to commentate on these two this season. That would just be...
I'm hoping to see a few controversial crashes. That'll make it good.
Oh, God. Well, I'll be checking the D4 stream after my races every week and see if that's happened then. Joking.
I tell you what, I'm pointing out quickly, just whilst we have a little stalemate. In Division... Oh, hold on. YHYY is going on the outside of Heat. That's a stupidly good move. You've not been able to see that, which is very annoying. He's just got an incredible overtake on Heated around the outside. That is insane. He's on fresher tyres, you're going to have much better grip, but that is still such a good move, and he's found himself now up into P4, but I was just quickly going to say, I just had a quick peek onto D1, and our boy Ariel Nathan is currently in first in Division 1, so it just shows what's happened now Montana's gone.
Wow, there we go. So I think I'll see how Division 3 is looking at the moment, who's leading that. Sully's leading Division 3 at the moment, so... Yeah, obviously. Yes, we are seeing
I'll tell you one thing to look at, though. Sorry, just to interrupt for a second.
Sorry.
I will say, when you're looking at the penalties here, it's not uncommon to get penalties at this track. I'm looking at all the other divisions. Division 1 is our highest tier. Nearly half the grid has penalties, so it's very, very common. to get penalties at this track.
Here comes Steve on Licks. Again,
it's this corner again.
This is great, I have to say. These two have been stars today as well, and I raced with Licks last season in Division 5, and every time I battle him, he keeps it clean, he keeps it fair, he leaves too many space. He's going to go for the left-hand side of Steve. Is he going to make it, or is Steve going to go on the attack? I'm not sure. This is amazing.
Oh, this is incredible.
This is amazing. Licks always leaves enough space on the car he drives. He always gives good battles as well whenever I battle him as well. So I'm not really that surprised that he's doing it to Steve as well. It shows that these two very respect each other.
They're still side by side. What is this?
This is crazy. I'm clipping this at the end of this stream. But anyway, yellow flag.
He's going for it again into turn 1.
But here we go. Licks to turn 1 on the left-hand side. He clips the apex for good measure. This time
I tell
he
you
gets
what,
a better exit.
he's finally got it done, and you can guarantee where we're going to see the next overtake. It's going to be down that DRS straight. And the only benefit I'm seeing here is going down to the final lap. Steve Day has saved more ERS, and that could come in handy for the final lap going into turn 11. He might just be able to defend himself in turn 11 with that ERS.
I think this could be a ding-dong battle between these two throughout the entire race. It could be like what we've seen in esports as well, the tactic of who's going to have the DRS in the final lap, and I'm just trying to see. At the moment, it's going to be Steve that's going to get the DRS in the final lap. So
yeah, Steve doesn't need to go for a move. He could just wait for the last lap, but he's choosing to go for it. Licks his D rating.
Well,
he's got past him.
They're both showing us that they deserve to be in the higher tier, and they want to go for battles like this. So fair play to them. You know, you want to have some fun, and they're probably going to be talking like this. As Storm and Heated have gone for a move. Storm's up to 4th.
Yeah, Storm's Storm's in 5th. Currently, YHYY's in 4th. Licks and Steve, they're going on it again. They're on the outside. That's exactly where YHYY did his move, but Licks is a lot more impressive because he's on older mediums than Steve Day by 1 lap, but still on the same set of tyres, and this is going to be a last lap scrap now.
Wow, this is going to be insane. 2 laps to go. Watch out for these two battling as well. We've got Steve that's going to try and go for a similar line to what we saw with Licks the last lap. Licks holds it on as well. Licks did a great job there, because what Licks is doing is Licks wants the DRS on the final lap. So with him being ahead now, he's going to have Steve have DRS this lap, and then next lap, he's going to want... but to be honest, Steve doesn't care. He just wants to have a bit of fun, even though he's got no penalty so far. Licks is going to be ahead of Storm anyway, so as long as he doesn't... any of these guys catch up, it should be fine. But... so Steve, as long as Steve within 3 seconds...
40% of ERS as well, so he's got a bit to play with if he wants to defend himself.
We'll Steve back off just to be within DRS. He's backed off. What a great tactic from Steve. What a great tactic from Steve. And Licks is derating as well. So Steve has gained a lot of time just by being behind Licks as well with the slipstream. This is absolutely amazing as well. And to be fair, I believe Steve is new. Steve has impressed us a lot in Division 4.
He needs to be careful. He's going to drop out of DRS if he's not careful.
Yeah. And
this might backfire a little bit. He's going to have to use a bit of ERS. I think Licks has broke a second to him.
I think Licks knows that he has to push to try and stay ahead in terms of pens. So, but we'll see. Final lap.
This is 1.1. He is out. He's out of DRS right now.
Yeah.
And YHYY is a second. He's in DRS range of Steve Day, and you're not going to be able to see this. No. YHYY's joined the back of these two. He could overtake Steve Day in the last lap.
Yes, indeed.
He's within a second. He's on 4 lap old softs. Steve Day, we've been talking about getting second place here. I think he's going to lose it to YHYY.
Yeah. That could be very, very dangerous. So Steve's got to get a move on there. He's probably realised he's made that mistake. And Licks, he knows that YHYY is coming, so he needs to push. But YHYY has also got a time penalty. So it's really for position if these two go for it anyway as well. But we'll follow Steve and Licks once again, and YHYY, even though you can't see him.
Well, YHYY, I can tell you now, is going past Steve Day. He's got DRS, ERS, and he has just made the overtake now, going into the corner.
Steve's got ERS, he's using ERS as well. Can he defend on YHYY even though I can't see it?
He's already gone, and YHYY is going to get past Licks. Oh, this is going to be really close for these two. I think he's going to get Licks here. And them two have the same amount of penalties, so this could be an on-track overtake. He's going to... Oh, this is going to be really close, actually. I think Licks might be able to hold on. I don't see how he overtakes here, but Mikos Mats will just say congratulations to him. A very comfortable win, and I think Licks is just going to hold on. Yeah, I don't see how he gets past him here, but...
So it will be Licks then... Actually, no, would it be... I think it'll still be Steve still, because Steve's got less.
Yeah, it is Steve.
So it's Steve, then Licks, then YHYY. It says the right results, at least, on my screen.
Yeah, look how close he was.
It says the right results on my screen, so that's good. That's good. So at least the timings were right at the end of the race. So Storm finishing...
I tell you what, with 2 pit stops as well. YHYY pitted twice, and he finished 1/10 behind the podium, which is incredible.
Soft OP on this track, just saying. So Lars also did 2 stops, 7th place, not too bad. Same for Flip. In 8th, obviously Letty in 9th. Obviously a few people had to. It's Letty and Flex, they switched. No, it's Connor. Connor had their penalties. But there we go. That is Division 4 for you. Pre-season race, and some of the battles we didn't even see due to horrible desync. But that's what you get sometimes, unfortunately. And Matt gets driver of the day in game, and to be honest, I don't blame him. He's driven a superb job today, and he just shows that the softs he was on fire. I believe he got fastest lap as well, didn't he? Let me have a look. Yes, he did. 1:34.2, and the closest was Connor with a 1:34.604. So yeah, not even close. So we go. Let's go through your results in the right order. Luckily, so we got an all Dutch podium with Matt, Steve, and Licks. Nice, the Dutchies are taking over Eloise, as it seems. YHYY in 4th. We've got Storm, then Heaton, then Lars, Aledi, Connor, Flip. Those are your finishers, and your retirements are Energetic, Slayer, and Jordan. So we're not going to do interviews this week because A, I don't have any people on my friend list, and B, I haven't done any practice.
You could have get some time trial.
Yeah, I need to get some practice in for my race because I got to admit I haven't done any practice. So, but I've done loads of league races around there, so I should be fine. But yeah, that's my excuse. But anyway, thank you for listening to Division 4. And you can check out Division 1 and Division 3 as well after this as well later on to see how they got on with their pre-season race around USA. But in around about half an hour's time, we got Division 2 with J. Colin Dacker at 8:10, and also at the same time as Division 5 with Killer Blue and Packer. So they'll be taking you through those action as well, and you probably get to see me bottle around one of my worst traps on this game. Anyway, I've been JessGave95. I'll be back in Division 3 next week with Carmen to this, and hopefully Tim will join you for Division 4 next week with an OP lineup, I have to say, for this tier. So I'm sure you guys will be in for a treat there as well. But thank you for joining me for tonight. At least Division 4 got a stream tonight.
Yeah, we managed to get something off, and thank you for the drivers that did show up. Hopefully we get a full lobby next time, but the drivers that did show up, we only had one person, Slayer, retire fully in the pit, I think. So I think everyone else that retired did crash. So thank you for the drivers for carrying on. We've got a good showcase of the pace, and it's looking like a good little scrap in the season, especially between Licks and Steve days. I'm looking forward for that one.
I'm excited as well when I watch it back in next week as well. But make sure you join us same time next week for the 6:30 tiers in Imola for the first round of the season. We are very looking forward to that. So have a good evening, everybody, and make sure you tune into Division 2 and Division 5 in just under 25 minutes time. Have a good evening, everybody. Goodbye.